Hello everyone, bit of a different, actually very unusual, and believe me, unwanted video that absolutely, first of all, should be aimed at, let's say, calming. I don't pretend you have such turbulent emotions towards my contents, but specifically anybody who thinks, now he stops making videos, he goes away from... No, it's not really the thing. Um, uh, Fortunately and unfortunately, because the reasons for which I'm doing this are partly very good and very bad, but it has nothing to do with Schwerpunkt and especially my need to continue this at all. And as I specified in the video, this is going to be temporary. That is, I have a specific schedule that for which I can say, up to that point, I am blocked fundamentally, and after that I can start doing it again. It's nothing serious altogether. It's just the complexion. I mean, the broader ensemble of the thing that made me think about it. As I told you here and there, basically I'm finishing my PhD. And this is the first reason I need to stop momentarily, because I actually finished my thesis. I'm just writing the bibliography that is taking some time. But basically in this month I will have to correct all the minimal things that, fortunately, because actually my thesis has already been controlled by my tutor, by my professors of department, and then it will have to go now to the external examiners that will eventually, there are two professors that will give it again to another professor who is the greatest expert in the thing I'm writing, and it's a very important work. It's a big thing, and I addressed this thing too in the past. That is, it's really different from a normal thesis, at least for the sizes that they usually are, but especially it is new, very new, and it has specifically to do with 14th century European warfare. I count it on it to be an important work, and I don't say I could say, now he will start, making analogy of his work. Well, really, I don't think I'm a great writer, nor a great, I don't think I'm not even a great historian, let's be honest. I've always thought I'm pretty average, and sometimes even worse than the average. It's just that I do things very differently. As you know, when I criticize hyper-specialization, I don't do it hypercritically. Like, I see many of my colleagues that write much shorter stuff, that much more punctual. I feel the need in many things in my life to make this enormous effort, especially in terms of energies and time spent. Like, as you have understood from Schwerpunkt here for these last 3 years, and this is also why I care to make this video, to make you understand something, and especially to thank you enormously that I started Schwerpunkt together with the PhD. When I was in the selections, were very I was concurring with other 16 people, and there was only one place, and I said this is never gonna work, and I began to say, okay, now for 1 other year I have to wait, at least for my university entering tests. I will have to do something else. I'll try. I would have been depressed honestly if I had failed, as it was practically sure. And I started, I think at the beginning, like a Facebook page that didn't work. It was blocked, I don't remember. And then I started Schwerpunkt when I actually had entered the PhD already, because I felt like, wow, now I have these 3 years ahead, everything is gonna be so relaxed. I just stay home and work. And that's how I started Schwerpunkt, and I could make a video every day. And that's how I would like it to continue, because obviously when I finish this all, I will have to move forward at some levels. You've seen sometimes I've gone on vacations, stopped making videos, but it was just a very few weeks altogether in the last few years, because I really needed the time to work. And I did work, and you may say, well, Schwerpunkt may have taken away time from this. Well, actually, I don't think so. Or better, it's obvious that in absolute terms, I could be more relaxed. But sometimes I feel that Schwerpunkt really gave me a schedule. That is to say, I have to do this and that during the day. I give myself a better time. When I have plenty of time, even time in excess, I usually waste it, because I'm kind of an anxious person. and as far as time is concerned, and therefore, yes, I like to hurry up, but at a certain time I can't sustain it. Like I hope a normal person more than much. At least everybody has a certain level, and I needed to, Schwerpunkt was my relaxation. Even if it took a lot of time to sometimes prepare the videos, find the data, or the pictures, and mounting the stuff, and uploading all the tags and all the. That's something I never told you about. It's kind of boring at some point, but it's satisfying. And I like altogether the fact that I delivered this content, and I've incredibly met with you. That is to say, with people that, in the way I really like personally, in terms of personal interactions, are really very, they're appreciative, but they're silent about it. They just follow, they listen, they care. When they want to know something, then they make a question. If I can, I answer them. And unfortunately, this time there are many, so I can't answer them all because, that also takes time. And I try to address the issues in my videos as well, here and there, so to keep you engaged. But literally, if it hadn't been for Schwerpunkt, first of all, I think I could have not scheduled properly my day. Secondly, and more importantly, actually, Schwerpunkt taught me a lot. That is to say, as a PhD student, the things I studied here that sometimes also intertwined with the topic I've been writing about now, has been incredibly useful, right? I understood so many things thanks to the Fondkriege, right? There are certain things to which I built the thesis, that if I hadn't started commenting von Clausewitz, I would have not been there, and I reckon that there would have been serious flaws. The same goes for certain details. Just today, I'm sorry for all these Scottish warfare fans, but I had actually prepared a new video that probably I will come up with, maybe not the first one of next year at this point, but surely afterwards, about 14th century Scottish infantry. Actually, was about pikemen and not only. But today, I was searching for the information. I said, wow, I needed that. There was something about the skill turn that I even wrote about in my thesis and that I hadn't considered, and I'm sorry actually for my own self that I cannot continue this in this. How many days are they? Like 27 days, 28 days that I have left. Yes, because I realized that I need that. I need Schwerpunkt to grow up. I need Schwerpunkt to learn new stuff, and I did enormously. Right, there has been a huge improvement. Just think of how I spoke at the beginning, or even just the concepts, how I expanded them. I changed my mind through these 3 years, and these are the 3 years of Schwerpunkt, I can tell you, before my PhD, because honestly, aside from my personality that tends to care more about things I really like doing rather than what I like work, you would think I'm doing my work, my research because I want to, I want to teach or stuff. Honestly, I chose history because I'm curious as a person, and I would like, yes, maybe to teach at some point. I already made some lesson here and there at university as a host, aside from the call for papers. But what I like honestly is to research a lot. Like I like every day to read a ton of stuff, to summarize and to think new. And Schwerpunkt told me this, right? There is something about this year that these years that I could have never had without this, and that's why I want to continue. Right? I'm telling you straightforwardly. This is by the slightest no excuse at all. I still have to explain you why I'm quitting now, but I will start it again with a new year, hopefully. There could be another scenario too, but at that point it won't influence the Schwerpunkt production either, because I actually may be given more months if my correctors deem my thesis to be, that they have to perfection it, or that that there is something I have to take care. I don't know. My tutor and the other colleagues told me that essentially the work works, right? I have to, and specifically, this is what thing I have to do. First of all, I have to write the bibliography, which, considering that I already advanced the work in these months, but there are over 5,000 notes in my work, and I have no idea how many quotes. There are a lot, though, and it's very easy because it's already all systematized in terms of formulas of the name of the authors, the works, and so on. But I have to. It just takes one click to change, but I still have to change the properly how I wrote them. I mean, stupid things like small capitals, and then I have to write, well, all the list with every possible detail in the bibliography and everything. More importantly, I want to reread everything, right? There's a lot of things, and in 600 pages that are easily actually 1,200, if depending on how I frame the text. That I skip. Right, that I didn't check properly, that there are some typing mistakes. I mean, things as stupid as those. There is actually a lot else that I would like to integrate if possible. And for all this, I need time, right? I need time. And I would like to, I honestly, when I, at some point I will tell you, especially everything will go well, hopefully, what's this story of the PhD has been like, because to me it's been amazing, but it's been brutal. It's not something that I can talk so easily. Sometimes I want to give an advice. I want to especially to make you understand how possible and how powerful it is for anybody to make a research on their own, independently from titles. That's the thing I care the most of, because that's the only spirit I ever studied history like, and that's perhaps why I got here. But even if in there, actually I should tell you the whole story behind that, because also the way I got there was kind of crazy, and I still disbelieve it at some point, and I feel the need to talk about it with you, because I believe you can relate many other things that happen in life, and it can be a boost for those who really would like, in fact, to try. Maybe I'd never thought or said, maybe it's not my thing. And I as you know, I care. I talked about it also in other videos, to really tell this thing of education the way it is, not the way people like to talk about. Because I realized throughout the whole work that everything I was told personally about it was different from what it actually was, and how I could actually take control on it and develop it. So that's another thing I will necessarily have to come back on Schwerpunkt about, and you can be sure that even if after this I will have to be more committed in in a job, in other research, I will keep making videos. I will keep making historical videos. I will share with you the stuff I research. I will do everything. And as far as I see it, the schedule doesn't change either. The same topics I discussed now will keep being discussed. I will talk about Prince again. I will talk about medieval warfare. We'll talk about Roman history. We'll talk about von Clausewitz, even if you don't watch it. But I will. I like the formula I came up with. Like, I refined it throughout these years, and I got good at that point. And unlike things I did in the past that I said, okay, now I topped them. This is not the case, because I could do infinitely better, but as you understand, this is something that goes beyond duty. So it's something I do also to relax. I don't want it to be because if I started to talk about literally the scientificity of all the sources, it's rough, right? You can see that, for example, in the videos, in the battle videos, where I sometimes actually analyzed all the sources that we have to reconstruct that battle, and you realize how messed up it can be. So I don't fully have the time for that. I don't know, today's video is about Scottish pikemen. It was like, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff to read, but sometimes I'm I'm even puzzled by how few there is out there, right? I would think, given the broader interest of Anglosphere in topics like, I don't know, the Scottish Wars and so on, it would be plenty of stuff. There's basically nothing. And it's utterly embarrassing, and that's why I can tell you that also my future fields of research in my work may actually be towards those areas. I would love that, honestly. And so, in any case, please do not take this as I'm giving up, because I don't give up. I'm a person that doesn't give up, even if things go very wrong. Like, if there is something that I like doing and I feel right doing, I don't quit, and I can crush my head somewhere, but I won't quit. So that I promise to you, right? I can't promise you that I will be here until the last of my days, but I will come back on that January the 2nd, whatever it will be, and I will start talking about history with you again. And if you want, I will start specifically with that video I had to do today to show you that there's a continuity here. It's the same old thing, and it never changes. If it does, it's because it goes better. And that, I can tell you, is only thanks to you. Because I would have done this even if only one person had listened to me, and I can get 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, whatever. I will always do it with the same spirit. Like, it's not that there is a pressure. Yes, there is. I discovered I handle it pretty well, right? Because normally I'm actually a very reserved person. I don't talk much at all. I don't have much of a social interaction. I never had it, right? And it's not because I'm not sociable. I lack those skills. It's just, I can't tell you, I prefer books to people on average, right? It depends which people they are, but generally speaking, there are also many books that are boring, but at least, the books I pick that I like, that are surely way more interesting to me than the average person I can find out there. More of that later, because I actually would like to say something there. In fact, the people I care about are very few, and I do all of this for them as well. Albeit, kind of, Schwerpunkt is my thing, my hobby, my own. Like, if I fail in here, I fail for myself. I don't fail to others, right? There is something that matters, that goes beyond. And I can tell you that you helped me in this, because you showed me that you told me so much with your comments, with your attention, with just through the statistics that I can see, even if you inadvertently, what the criticism, everything, helped me a lot to understand how to deliver the contents better, how to choose them better, how to expand on certain topics that I think are important, should be considered. You know that this is technically a history channel, and I wish it to be a military history channel mostly, but we talk about things that go beyond the specific perimeter of certain disciplines, because objectively we have figured out how these limits basically do not exist. And you made me understand it, because when I started Schwerpunkt, I tell you, I was insecure. I just started to see how many views I could get, and to maybe continue it, of course, but I said, what if now I get overwhelmed by the pressure, by the the criticism, the thing. You showed me that there is nothing to fear. You showed me that all this is great because we do it together. Secondly, I met extraordinary people in there. I don't need to name them. There's a person in particular that I also, thanked deeply, because he sent me some beautiful Roman coins, and there is another great person that I met, that we also made actually a kind of an interview together, and that we didn't upload them, but that's not a problem. And that is a person I couldn't write for months to, and I want to tell him that that has been great. That I've seen that he has kept following me, and in this, sometimes I forget the times we're living right now. I know a lot of people have troubles with this all, especially from an economical point of view, for not thinking about the losses that, as you know, also hit me because of the pandemic. And I'm fine, really. I left you like one month ago, telling to you of that loss, and also the fact that I presume I got coronavirus, because actually my parents did, and they felt very bad, and we even feared we had to hospitalize, but at some point. But I didn't have anything. I mean, I could maybe perceive that it wasn't 100% okay, but I was definitely asymptomatic. But we are fine now. The second thing is, unfortunately, there are, however, extra problems. I never talk about these things, but this year for my family has been a disaster. Like, we have had terrible things going on at so many levels in terms of health, unfortunately. And so it's not been easy. But once again, I want to thank you, because you helped me this, and my only reward can be, if I made you spend some moments of interest and of for history, or if I told you something that could help you understand, or just to see things in another perspective, or telling something new, or just if you liked listening for whichever reason. I hope that was enough, because unfortunately I can't do more. And when I look at this number of subscribers, I know it's technically a few, given that all the videos I made, statistically speaking, but I don't care. Like, to me, this is like as much as it can be, right? I want to thank you all at this point, 2,673. Thanks for that. Right, I see that you don't all follow me, you don't all participate. That's normal, because not only we have other things to do, but it's normal simply, like, some of you just bookmark the channel. But thank you anyway for that too, because it means you're interested, and I care. I really care, and so I'm really glad of it. For you, actually, I don't. It's not about me. I don't make this for me in any way, right? I can hope for one day to have, I don't know, to interact with some people that I can, I don't know, when we could meet at one point, we could organize something, participate, I don't know, whatever. So last year, I even told you, Russian television contacted me. Like, they told me, well, we want to interview you about, because you made that video about Mamluk army, and we want you. They would have actually put it on air, but just they wanted to show my own, like, aside from the fact that I don't have a webcam, but I also don't like to show up at that point. For me, it's a big deal. I even managed to talk all these hours, but just for telling you what can happen in theory. There are some of you ask me, would you like to make some interviews with others? Would you like? I've been asked to participate to other channels, but I'm not the kind of person. I'm kind of a loner. Like, I always work alone. I can't be. I don't know. I work badly as a team. That is the same reason why I actually dropped out of military academy, because it turned out that I wasn't fit for that in that sense, and I couldn't work for someone else's to put my content somewhere else. I received demands, and I respectfully denied, because I was flattered by that, but at the same time, I don't think what I do is so extraordinary, right? I just care about the historical side. That's it, and that's the magic of it. If you wonder how to make it, it's not about how many books you have. Well, that helps, of course, or how it's really about a lot of energies, a lot of resources. I don't add it to you, but I could dose them in a pleasant way, as we're telling you, as a hobby, and that's what made it. If there is something good in it, that's what made it so. That's the only recipe. It's not about competition. It's not about clickbaiting. It's not about this old thing of a peer. I could monetize the channel. I far surpassed the standards. I don't. I may do it in the future, but no, I don't feel like it, because why would you have to have stupid advertisements on this when I actually don't care? When I actually have food at my table or a roof on my head, and I can keep doing this. Doesn't make any sense, does it? I just like doing it. And that's it, right? And this answers naturally all the flaws and the shortcomings of Schwerpunkt, because again, I could do much better, but really much better if I really could. That's the problem. I don't. I have other things in my life currently, and so today was not much in the mood because of I don't know. I have health problems in my family, close ones. I hope it's nothing really, but I may never know. There is something great that happened to me in the last weeks, and it's kind of amazing. And I'm not even sure I should talk about it, but this last year, 3 years, I think I never told you. I started a relationship and ended one. It ended in July, and for a few weeks I've met. I tell you this, that is crazy. Like, now, she's an archaeologist. She's specialized in arms and armor, more. She's an archer and a horse rider, and she's a I can't even describe her. And I don't know. It went. I'm still in denial of it, because it's too great to me. How can an historian and an archaeologist get so well along? I do not know, but seemingly could happen. And I don't know. She's great. Like, I'm 185. She's 182. We're two, like, above ground relations, and it was great. And in these months, it's driving me crazy though, because I never felt anything like that. And maybe I'm saving a bit of time also because of that, honestly, because I realized that it became difficult to manage Schwerpunkt that and the last moments of my research. The situation here is also that I would like to show something to you that is strength, moral forces. Like, when in von Clausewitz we talk about that, it's not anecdotal, it's not rhetorical. It's really probably the single most important thing in someone's life, to be driven, to be devoted, in the etymological sense of the word, right? And it's risky, it's brutal, it does require force, right? In different ways, but it doesn't entail the risk, the enormous costs of this all. Von Clausewitz teaches us never to give up, especially not to give up after you have accomplished something great, not to relax, because after victory, what you can obtain if you push forward, if you make that last effort desperately, even if you are exhausted, if you can't take it anymore, right? I've been basically 3 years closed into my house, right? And the last year, of course, this year, I mean, it's been for obvious reasons that we all share, more or less. The previous 2 years, yes, I did travel. I made some of the most beautiful travels in my life, honestly. And I will have to talk to you about one specifically, because it was when I visited the battlefield of the battle I wrote about in my master thesis. And that, to me, was the single most important experience I ever gotten from a battle study. That is to say, what you actually can understand. Let's leave aside the emotional side of the story, because to me, the emotions I felt there, I've never felt any in any time. I kind of got multiple times Stendhal syndrome. I get teary. I broke up in tears in front of the tomb of Maria Theresia, within the almost in the Dome of Florence. I had these things, but what I experienced on that field, where there is nothing, but to understand how really a ground can make the thing. That is something. I've met actually another person that is also my mentor, actually one of the greatest military history professors. He actually had the same thing with the battlefield of Culloden Moor, and he defined it as a pilgrimage, as a spiritual journey. That's exactly what I felt. I can't describe it. I don't have words to express it, and that's also why I've wanted to make my life of this. The last effort I'm talking about is the one for my thesis, because believe me, I would have never stopped this even if for this little month, as it will turning out to be. I've never stopped Schwerpunkt. I would have never done it. I started considering this since this summer, because I knew that I will explain you more carefully why this all happened. It's not that I ran out of time, because I had written the thesis basically already, but there were so many other things I wanted to do with it. And I said, what if I stop Schwerpunkt for a couple of months? Let's wait November. I waited for it, and I said, I can still make it after all. I hope everything is going to work fine. Now realize, arriving in December, that if I get those 2 or 3 extra hours, but even not just the pressure of having to fit all the things in the schedule, I can make a great work. And if I perfect my work, first of all, I will feel fulfilled individual. But this is something you do not care about. But especially if I do that work pretty damn well, that thing will weigh it will have a specific weight. It will crush a lot of barriers and boundaries, and I will explain to you why. Right? Everything. This thesis of mine, if I get my PhD, I won't get it at this moment before April the 30th, because that's the ether, even if I stop on December the 31st, because I have to send it at the end. But it's a big thing, and once again, I can't talk about it now, but there are chances that we could make of all of this something altogether. And I cannot show you, for all what I've been talking about in the Filmkriege and military history and history, I cannot stop now. Because if I stop now, if I don't take it to the last, and I don't spit blood exactly at this very last point, because now I could say, oh, well, just have the bibliography, the thesis, fine. There's something to be corrected here and there, but I don't care. I relax. I'll keep making. No, I want to torture myself. I want to kill myself. This has to be wild, and I have to show it to you to prove how important it is to never think it's over, to never think that you can't stop at that point, and that nothing better can be done. Because if I did that, you wouldn't believe what I've done up to now. You wouldn't believe what I say. You wouldn't believe the things I convey. I wouldn't be true, and that's why I have to do it now. I have to do it. It can't be otherwise. I don't know. I don't know what I should add. Right? I won't get moved because of quitting it for 20 days. But I must confess that to me, like if you look in insight, in perspective, I you know it. You can check it. You know it. those who follow me every day know it. I've been doing this for literally almost 3 years in a row. And it strikes you, right? It's not like it's not like, it's the meaning for what you have done it that matters. So that to me, that I was used to wake up and think, what do I talk about this evening? Well, from tomorrow for a few time, albeit I will not have it, and I can tell you that it's really moving. That yes, it does make me suffer, but also, there are many other things that make us suffer every day. And if this was a moment to forget a bit about them, well, I'm sorry, but I promise that I will make it up for you. I told you right how I felt about this, why I do it, and you can be sure that I will come back at that point, unless something brutal happens, like that I explode or or something like that. But very realistic. Well, it happens, or a plane crashes over my house, or all the worst you can imagine. No, it takes really much less to knock me out. Really, believe, not because I'm kind of sickly, but just you never really know what happens in life. But sorry, my note. I'm pessimist. I have a pessimistic nature. It's not that I'm pessimistic at all. Actually, I'm nor optimistic nor pessimistic. But just that's since I made a promise. I can't tell you the closest for which I could. If I don't leave anymore, I could not upload. If not, I have some spiritus session. Which I come back on the channel from the dead. But I doubt it's possible. So I would like, there is one thing I would like to ask you, right? That is, I could tell you, I don't know, just share the stuff. No, I don't want that. Don't worry. I don't care this channel to boom. I don't care. I like it the way it is. In the way it will always be. But there is one thing I want to ask you. And I ask you really from the soul. I hear, here I can see how many hours you watch, you listen to me. I don't know if it's just you leave it going on and then you go into another room and come back, you don't care. But I'm amazed in here to realize how many freaking hours my content is being listened to. And that's amazing. So I'm saying it for you. Is obviously listening. All what I've done here, all the videos, all the topics, all the concepts, all the ideas. Now, there is one deep reason why I do this. There is one great message that I want to express, and I don't tell you which it is. It's not that I have the answer myself now. I mean, I have it, but it would take another video just to try to broaden the thing. As you know, if you check especially the Historian playlist, you find broader reasons why I'm here, what I do. But this is not an answer that I can give to you so that you can, fine, that's what I can get from Schwerpunkt. Now, I know that I write it down, so I can't see it. It's what can help you to look at this stuff autonomously. Right? If there is something I really long for all this is for you to reason exclusively with your own mind. That is to say, none of this is dogma, none of this is unmovable stuff, none of this is something you have to accept. You have to bind the whole package, otherwise we are all different. We all have different ideas. Turns out we have some in common, because if we talk about this, and it is pretty niche, and someone follows, it's because evidently our chords are kind of in syntony. But the question for military history, for history in general and so on. But the question here is to look at the whole thing in a way that is not simply just a perspective. It's realizing exactly what we can do for it as individuals, right? That this all, and that's what I truly believe, and I can tell you, this is just me talking, but I truly believe that it does work. It is true. It's all worth it. It does have a point. Like life, like history, there is a point to it. It's not an illusion, right? It's still something subjective in as much as it makes us grow, because we do it as humans for our experience, but it does work. There is something that, in spite of all the difficulty, in spite of all the things that can go wrong, that can make us suffer, that really works. There is really something that we can do to make it better, and it costs, right? None of this comes without a cost. None of this comes without having done something else, right? I could have, Schwerpunkt might have not existed. I might have started doing something else. I could have involved myself in who knows what else. And maybe today I would even be happier. Who knows, right? I'm fine the way I am. I've always been. But believe me, I do not do this if I didn't know from within me that this really does make a difference. And some of you confirmed this to me, because some of you told me things that frankly I had never heard, like that a couple people wrote me that they started studying something, they made a life choice, they began to a path in their lives because they told me that they had listened to one video of mine. They decided that they wanted to know more about that. Now, if you tell me that I am like, I can't even describe it, that is exactly what I'm talking about, and that is the only thing that matters to me. The only thing that matters to me, because I really believe we can do better in everything, every day, and it costs, it's difficult, but until you don't try, you can't understand. Until you fail, you can't understand how much, right? So Schwerpunkt told me this, and if I managed, it told me this like many other things, but relatively to the importance of history in this case, it taught me, perhaps more than anything else, maybe more than all the years I studied, all the lessons I attended, all the boring time spent at university. This thing made me understand way more, but way more, in ways that are not the detail, or not the whatever you can read from any book and repeat it, but something that has to do with commitment, with method, with objectivity, with an effort to be objective at least, and to really find the good that we can learn, the good that we can make by knowing, by making history for real. And that's the most important thing. You can all make history. We can all make history. We can all change things for the better, right? And this is the only thing I care about. Now, having said this, I'm not sure I will be able to maintain this abstinence, because I know myself too much. So I'm capable, I don't know, coming up tomorrow and saying, let's talk now about those Scottish pikemen, right? And I would be very happy. I think I will not do it, because otherwise I would I would I would have said something false to you, so I don't want to do it. I'm tempted, just this could be the thing, to make a video of for wishing you happy holidays, which is something that I would like to do aside from this one, because even if it's very short, just to show you that I care, especially after this year that objectively has not been easy for many, for all of us in a way. Some more, some less. I think I was lucky because at the end of the day, I'm still doing it, right? I'm still there. I'm still living my world in, and if I think all the possible things that could go wrong, I feel terribly lucky. But I just care to show you that I understand that things can go not so easily, and I know it by fact. Like, some of you, in fact, even told me like that they were having a rough time, that things weren't going well. Yes, and that's exactly why I think history is so important, because that shows you in perspective. It doesn't make you suffer less, but it helps you to understand why things happen, which in my opinion is not naturally regaining what you have lost forever, because we all lose something forever every day, but we can also acquire something else that helps us to cope with that. And so I don't want to miss being there, and I will definitely upload that, and just to show you that I have not forgotten, and I promise I will. So, because it doesn't cost me money, I'm always here, right? So as I told you, I explained to you why I'm doing this. So, in spite of all the things that can go wrong, I wish you really all the best in these days. Hell, I'm counting them, like, how many days are they? Today it's the 4th, so it's like 20, 28, 29 days. Okay, it's just a small, short month. I hope you will have such a great time, right? And I promise I will come to make you a better wish. For the holidays specifically. There are not, as you know, I make a video every year about that. That is for everybody. This is not just because we are in a Christian world, let's say, aside from everybody's belief. That is really for everybody, because there are broader meanings, like I think in every culture this time of the year, that are very important, that have really to do with the idea of a fear, but also of happiness regained, right? Of a fall, but also of a rise, a death and a birth, and that is to me really important, because I really do believe we can always be that. We can always be better, and that's what drives me, right? I'm not saying I succeed, because we all fail, but it's not just that, right? Evidently, and history is proof of that. So, for now, I would like to wish you that happiness and that serenity and that stability that we all long for. I don't add anything else, because I usually don't say that much in every video, but given I stopped for a while, maybe I would like to leave you with that. For the rest, I hope, as always, that we will find ourselves soon. I promise that if I end this sooner, that is to say, I think I can't put the word end, because I know I've done it, and I will make some other thing. So it's not really, I can't wait to start again. It's just, I have to do it for Schwerpunkt itself, and know what this has meant during these 3 years, because the two things could have never happened altogether, right? Alright, so I wish you today a great a great time, wherever the time you listen from is. And just know that I know you, right? Sometimes when I comment, when you comment and I don't answer, just put like the heart button, whatever it is there. But I mean it, like I carefully calculate it. But sometimes I don't answer, or I try to remain a bit balanced between the things. But I do know each of you, right? I haven't spent much, but it's just that you showed up consistently for me to know you in the form you have decided naturally to be known. And I really care, right? I really miss your comments that you can always make, and we'll get there. I promise to you. So I wish you a great time, and see you next time. Bye.